they see there is so unlike what they know from their own experience. This is true even though they may be quite faithful to their church in the ways prescribed, and really do have Jesus Christ as their only hope. Therefore, the clear New Testament presentation of the life we are unmistakably offered in Christ only discourages them or makes them hopeless. Why should this be so? Surely, the life God holds out to us in Jesus was not meant to be an unsolvable puzzle. And that only leaves us with the explanation that, for all our good intentions and strenuous methods, we do not approach and receive that life in the right way. We do not comprehend and convey the wisdom of Jesus and the Bible about the human being and about its redemption by grace from the destructive powers that have come to occupy it in all of its primary dimensions. It really isn't true that where there is a will, there is automatically a way. Although, of course, will is crucial, there is also needed an understanding of exactly what needs to be done and how it can be accomplished, of the instruments for the realization of that life and the order of their use. Spiritual formation in Christ is an orderly process. Although God can triumph in disorder, that is not his choice. And instead of focusing upon what God can do, we must humble ourselves to accept the ways he has chosen to work with us. These are clearly laid out in the Bible, and especially in the words and person of Jesus. He invites us to leave our burdensome ways of heavy labor, especially the religious ones, and step into the yoke of training with him. This is a way of gentleness and lowliness, a way of soul rest. It is a way of inner transformation that proves pulling his load and carrying his burden with him to be a life that is easy and light. The perceived distance and difficulty of entering fully into the divine world and its life is due entirely to our failure to understand that the way in is the way of pervasive inner transformation, and to our failure to take the small steps that quietly and certainly lead to it. This is a hopeful, life-saving insight. For the individual, it means that all of the hindrances to our putting off the old person and putting on the new one can be removed or mastered. And that will enable us to walk increasingly in the wholeness, holiness, and power of the kingdom of the heavens. No one need live in spiritual and personal defeat. A life of victory over sin and circumstance is accessible to all. For our Christian groups and their leaders, it means that there is a simple, straightforward way in which congregations of Jesus' people can, without exception, fulfill his call to be an ecclesia, his called-out ones, a touch point between heaven and earth, where the healing of the cross and the resurrection can save the lost and grow the saved into the fullness of human beings in Christ. No special facilities, programs, talents, or techniques are required. It doesn't even require a budget. Just faithfulness to the process of spiritual formation in Christ-likeness, exposed in the Scriptures and in the lives of his peculiar people through the ages. Chapter 1. Introducing Spiritual Formation. The Beyond Within and the Way of Jesus. The proverb tells us, "Watch over your heart with all diligence, for from it flow the springs of life." We live from our heart. The part of us that drives and organizes our life is not the physical. This remains true even if we deny it. You have a spirit within you, and it has been formed. It has taken on a specific character. I have a spirit, and it has been formed. This is true of everyone. The human spirit